I usually do with my team calls. Okay, perfect. So we are now recording. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. You all can see me. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to do two. Here we go. Move over here. Okay, so like I said, my name is Kendra Zaru. Here we go. We're going to get to it again. We've all been doing this, but hopefully I can give, oh, there we go. A little bit of encouragement. Today, of course, we're just going to talk about motivation, our goals, why we do this. We're going to reach out, we're going to connect, and we're going to invite. And before I go any further, you will see with me that, and with so many coaches on this team, they've talked about this, but this is really how I run my business, is I am very much a people person, and I love to get into people's lives. On the next slide, I'll talk a little bit more about my past and why that's so important to me in connecting with people at a really genuine level. But that is something that we're going to be talking about a lot today. So, why are we having issues here? You are scary. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, let's just do this then. Okay, so this first block on our tracker, but just that we're talking about this morning, is always the most important thing is going back to our why. Why do we do this? And one of the things that's really important to me as I work with my coaches and we work on the team is sometimes we don't know how to get to a why. And again, so many coaches have talked about this. There's calls that are just about your why, but one of the things that is really important to me as you think about filling out this your why on your tracker is also taking a look at what your gifts are. And if you don't know what your gifts are, I want to encourage you to ask your coach or maybe ask a friend and find out from them like what some of your gifts are. I think one of the things that happens in this business or in most businesses is that we get stuck on the to-do list, which is super important to do because when you're a business owner, you have to do the to-dos. You have to do the work. But also if we get stuck too much on the to-do list, then what happens is we forget the passion that's inside of us and the way that we naturally interact with people and the things that set our soul on fire. And I think that's really, really important. So as you read this morning, the first thing we do is that I want you to write out your why. Why are you doing this business? Why are you showing up for this job? Why does this matter to you? That's the first thing, so I want you to take a couple minutes. And then we're going to go back and do some of this checking in where we're at in the month, but these first couple minutes, I want you to just do that. Okay, let's see. I'm setting my timer because it goes fast. And oftentimes when I start, I will play music and do things because I'm in my office, but I want to keep it open so that people can ask questions or share something. If you want to hop on and share your why, go for it. I'd love to hear it. So for example, one of the things that I know that one of my gifts is encouragement. And it's important to me, and you'll see later on, that is just something that God created me with. It sets my soul on fire to be able to come alongside people and encourage them. And because that is my natural gift and what I naturally want to do with people, then I have to take that and apply that to my business. Because if I just look at this as a checklist, then over years and years and years and years of doing this, I might find myself burnt out or bored. But if I approach it from what my gifts are and what sets my soul on fire, then I get excited about showing up every day and encouraging people and getting to know them for them, but really being just a voice of encouragement on their page. And oftentimes, and I'll talk about this later when we talk about connecting, that is how I do that. I go into people's inbox and my intention is simply to encourage them. And I will tell you that people respond to me and I start conversations and I gain followers and I gain clients. And that's not my intention when I go in, but I do because they say, wow, thank you so much for just being an encouragement in my life. And I didn't even know you before this. So figure out what your gifts are and how you can apply that to this business. And then the other thing you'll see in there is to text 3 to 5 people and just appreciate them. Tell them why you're thankful that they joined your group. And if you've already done that, then I want you to assess. We're at the last day of the month. I think sometimes we can also find ourselves discouraged if we didn't hit our goals in the morning of the last day of the month. And I want to encourage you that you still have a whole day to go after your business. And I know some of you may be working another job. Some of you may have other things going on, kids at home, whatever. And you're like, well, Kendra, I don't have all day to work this business. That's okay. You've committed to this hour. Go all in with your heart, soul, and mind. Do your task, but know that the day isn't over until the end of the day tonight, and you've given 110%. I know there's people on this call that are from my team who have gone from SC2 to SC10 in one day. It is totally possible. If you are on this call and you've had a day like that in your business, would feel free to unmute yourself and talk about that, because it's really important when you sit down to do your power hour to kind of check in. How many Success Club points do you have? How many coaches have you added this month? You should be, we're at the end of a month, so you're probably maybe at the end of one of your groups, but where are you at with your June goals? And then we'll talk about looking at what your July goals are. But don't ever feel like you give up because it's the last day of the month and you aren't where you thought you would be. You still have plenty of time. Amethyst, you had a day like that, right? Where you just kind of crushed it in one. I mean, you're always doing the task, but you saw this big jump in one day. How about you?
I don't recall that. I always think of Katie sharing her story about how she killed that. I think you're thinking of Katie.
Okay, I'm thinking of Katie. I'm totally thinking of Katie. You're right.
Yeah.
Hi, Kendra. It's Gabrielle.
Oh, hi, Gabrielle.
Hi. I actually had that happen this month. I literally went from SC2 and then the next morning opened up my back office and went 10. Oh my gosh. And it was really just a matter of following up. And not in a pushy way. I just, was myself and kind of worked with, the people who were interested, and we had the conversations, and it literally all fell into place in one day.
I love that. So you all be encouraged by Gabrielle. This is an amazing coach on our team, but also just like she said, she just did what she was supposed to do, showed up every day, followed up like a mad woman, and the next day woke up and was at SC10. It's totally possible. So again, be encouraged today that if you're not exactly where you would hope to be at the end of this month, it's totally possible. You just got to put the work in. And again, with all things, we know this with nutrition, we know this with fitness, and this is why I wanted to start with this. The most important thing is to get our heart and our mind right. If we sit down for our power hour and we're like, okay, I have to remind people, I have to show up, I have to check off my list, like our messages are going to come out that way. If we sit down and we get our heart and our mind right and we go back to our why, we go back to our gifts, and we talk about the fact that we are here to serve other people, that we have gifts to give them to help change their life, and we want to help and serve people, and then we go after it, your messages are going to come off with such a different feel. Your follow-ups are going to come off with a different feel and a different tone. Your interaction with people is going to feel heartfelt as opposed to salesy and businessy. and you're going to connect with people more. We all know this. This has been talked about a million times, but we all know that Instagram, especially Instagram, but is becoming a place where there's so much selling going on. So we really have to get in the mindset of caring for people and making sure our messages come across that way. Okay, just a couple more minutes. So make sure that you're texting people and telling them that you're grateful for them, and share why. Okay, there we go. All right, let's take a look at this next part we're going to do. Add followers and connecting with people. So I know that in the past, this has been kind of a challenging thing to have to figure out how to do that. I hope this Olympics and this doing our power hour has really helped a lot of you. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Again, here's just some ideas. I know none of this is really new information. A couple of ways that you can find people to follow. Let me just share some of the things that I do. I think it's really important to take what's going on in your life, to always be authentic in everything that we do, even social media, and connect with people who are kind of going through the same things in life as you, or the same things that you like. So a couple of things about me, for those of you that don't know my story, I am, like I said, I have kids that are in college. I have a bonus daughter because 10 years ago, well, let's see, 11 years ago, my husband and father of my children was diagnosed with cancer, colon cancer, out of the blue, was super healthy, and ended up passing away 10 months later. And I became a widow and single mom at 35. And completely, of course, changed my world, rocked my world, and obviously broke our hearts. And it was this whole experience of rebuilding my life. And so I ended up going back to school and becoming a grief coach, and starting a practice where I work with people dealing with their grief all over the world. And so one of the things that I do on social media is I follow and I connect with other widows. And one of the things that has been really powerful in my practice is when you are a caretaker, or when you have someone that you love who's diagnosed with a terminal illness, or you become a single mom for whatever reason, or you've had trauma or loss in your life, maybe a divorce, whatever it is. So often as a woman and as a mom, we end up being so focused on taking care of other people that we forget to take care of ourselves. And so my businesses have been able to work together to really provide people with lots of support, whether it's grief support, grief counseling, and health and wellness, and how to do that together. And so one of the things that's really important to me, and you guys see Amethyst on here, who's an amazing coach on our team and has had a huge impact on the Dream Team too. She has been my friend forever and was there through the whole thing with me. And being able to have somebody that can walk through a horrific time with you is so powerful. And often for me, when I do this connecting, my intention is simply to let other women that are in a similar situation like me, that I was in, let them know that they're not alone. That was one of the most powerful gifts that Amethyst and my family gave me, is to just let me know that you're not alone. You can't fix the situation, you can't make it better, but to know that I wasn't alone. And so maybe, hopefully, you haven't had anything that dramatic, but my people are widows, single moms, women who are in blended families, women who have had loss. And my practice has expanded, like I said, to work with women all over the world. But maybe your loss is a spouse, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a child, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a dream, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a divorce, whatever it is. So that's kind of my little niche. Another thing that's happened is, of course, like I said, I have college students. So I'm a mom of 3 kids in college, and they go out of state. So I connect with women that way. I do it through their colleges, all sorts of stuff like that. Let's see, what else? Oh, we also spend a lot of time at the lake. So I'm always looking up hashtags and looking for people who like lake life, because we spend most weekends in the summer at the lake. Consequently, I also grew up in California. So one of the things, I recently had surgery to have skin cancer removed. I cannot tell you how, well, it was awful, but the good thing that came out of that was connecting with so many others who have had skin cancer, had to have it removed, what their healing process was. I do have to do some chemotherapy after, but that, like, just being able to talk to people. And again, if I go into these conversations with a heart that I'm not about like, ooh, hopefully I can get a sale out of this, but ooh, I genuinely care about this person and want to connect and want to encourage them on their journey and learn from them, then my conversations are totally authentic. And when we follow it, doing the 3-2-1, which you guys know about, 3 likes on their page, 2 comments or questions, and then we follow, that's supposed to be 1 message. I don't know why it says that, but we message them in their inbox. We connect in a genuine way, and I obviously do not connect initially about Beachbody, because my heart and my intention is to get to know the person and understand where they're at in their life and come alongside them. What typically happens is when I have a dialogue, and so again, there are a lot of coaches who approach this the similar way, but they may do the invites and things in a little more rapid pace. And that's awesome. That totally works for them. After all that I have been through, that is, in my personality, it is more natural for me to develop a real relationship or friendship as best as you can on social media, and to get to know them and help them to trust me that I have no ulterior motive and agenda. And then I have no problem sending an invite, and if they want to join, great. If they don't, great. But we have a friendship that is genuine to me, because that's important to how I live my life. Now, I say that with, like I said, there's a ton of coaches who will say, I do 1 or 2 messages back and forth, and then that's it. I invite them and I move on. That's awesome too. What's so great about this business is that you get to run it what feels authentic to you. And that is why it's super important to know your why, super important to know your gifts, and super important to know what feels right for you for running your business. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just different personalities. And that's why there's enough people for all of us to connect with. So take some time to go find your people, find new people today, connect, look at their posts, and look at the people who've liked it, and then try to connect with them, follow them, 3, 2, 1 them, and also go to their stories. Okay, a few more minutes. Or maybe about a minute and a half. And this is such a great time to connect with new people, especially because one, you care, but two, we have an amazing new program and opportunity coming up. And at least here in California, but I'm hearing other places around the country, it looks like any gyms that opened up are closing. I've had a number of people message me that in the last 24 hours. That said, okay, I think I might be ready now because I just found out my gym opened up and now it's closing again. So again, it's totally okay to have an attitude like, sweet, I can get more customers or clients or coaches. But how awesome to genuinely be able to be like, so sweet, we have a solution as things have opened up and now might be closing back down. We have a solution to help people. I love that. That totally fires me up. Okay. We are good to go with that. Let's head right to the next one. Okay. Again, we're going to connect and encourage others. So here's what I want you to do. We're going to actually, where are we at with time? Yeah, let's do, yeah, perfect. Okay. If those of you have heard this tip before, if you are in your stories, you want to go all the way. So you want to go all the way over on your stories to the very end where they begin to go gray. And these are people that you haven't connected with in a while. So go ahead, watch their stories, connect with them genuinely, connect with them in a genuine way. And if you think it, say it. Meaning, I was just on someone's page who had these darling leggings. And I just was like, oh my gosh, those are the cutest leggings. Another one person I talked to was sharing her story of loss. Genuinely left a comment because I was thinking, wow, that must be really hard to have lost your mother and now your daughter. So again, this is where my brain goes in my connecting super intense and different things, but it goes to my people because this is the story of my life. In 1 minute, I have a super intense conversation about loss. And in the next moment, I will have a conversation about fashion because that's a part of who I am too. And that's real life. So all of that is okay. So wherever you're at is okay. So as you see on our tracker, we have initiate connections and add followers for 20 minutes. And so I just kind of broke that up a little bit to 10 minutes each because it's a lot to go through to go find new followers and add those. That's about 10 minutes. And then I spend time connecting with those people that I already have. Encouraging them, doing the same thing and continuing those relationships, going through my messages, that kind of thing. So that's why it's kind of broken up for me into 2 blocks, if you will. If you spend 20 minutes a day doing this, you will see people ask me all the time, how do you get more followers? And again, you guys have heard this all month long, but how do you get more followers? How do you get more clients? How do I find people? If you spend 20 minutes a day pouring into other people and connecting with them, I promise you, you will see your numbers increase in everything. More followers, more clients, more coaches, more lives changed, more Success Club points, more higher retention, all of that. Be about caring for other people and wanting to know about them. So often right now in our world, it's a very selfish place to be. I mean, even in this amount of time, let me see how many now. I have 8 messages back. Wow, thank you for just being an encouragement in my life. People have said that. I appreciate you, blah, 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 blah. I don't need anything. They're not getting anything from me. I'm not getting anything from them except just to encourage one another. One of my friends, Rachel, she said something one time on a call, and it has totally impacted how I go, just how I think about the importance of of connecting with people. One of the things that she had said on a call was, if you wake up in the morning and you have no messages in your inbox, you are not doing something right. So in your message, in your DMs on your Instagram, Facebook, then you're not giving to other people. When you are connecting with people and you care about them, and you always leave after you write your comment or when you message somebody, and you always write your message to them, and you're encouraging them and wanting to get to know them, your last thing is always a question, so that they have to respond, right? The natural thing, they don't have to, but they typically respond. And if you wake up in the morning and you do not have messages, then you are not giving enough to others. You're not pouring into others enough. And that really was so powerful, because I wake up every morning and I have a list of people to respond back to in my DMs. Because the day before, I have messaged them, encouraged them, and then simply something like, whatever it is. So how are you holding up today? Were you able to do something for you today in the midst of your loss? So you're headed to the lake for the 4th of July. Are you allowed to have fireworks? I mean, I've already talked about the fact that we can't have fireworks on our lake, blah, blah, blah. Are you guys allowed to? So it doesn't have to be deep. It's just a way to keep a conversation going, so that when you wake up in the morning, you have people to respond to and to continue to build that authentic relationship with. Or connection, I should say. Not a relationship, it's a connection. It's kind of creepy. And y'all, if you have any suggestions or anything that's working for you, unmute and share with everybody. Feel free. All right. So here's where I want you to go now I want you to go to your last 3 posts and see who has liked and commented on it, and respond to their comment. Go to their page and like and comment on their post. And then you can also go to your Instagram story and do the same thing. This takes time to do, but we're going to do it for 10 minutes right now. No, we're going to do it for 5, and then we're going to invite, and then I'm going to take any questions. Do 7, actually. We're going to do 7 minutes. Okay, finish those up. Ooh, let's take a look at this last block, inviting. Now we know that inviting has to start first in our mind and in our heart. If you sit down and you just grind out your invites, they're probably gonna suck. But if you sit down with the mentality of the fact that we have ourselves discovered or been invited to be a part of an amazing community for coaching with incredible tools that actually change lives, and we have the ability to share that and offer it to people, it completely transforms the way we sit down to invite. And you all, I totally get how inviting can be a struggle. It can be a mind game. And I want to encourage you to just stop that today. We have no idea where people are in their lives, what they struggle with, what their issues are, what their financial needs are. We don't know. So we don't have to spend any energy worrying about how people are going to respond to us. The only thing that we need to do is make sure that we have the right heart and mind going into invites. So ask yourself, do you totally believe in what we have to offer people? If the answer is yes, should be yes, then you go for it. Do you believe that these tools can help people lose weight and get healthy? Yes. Do you believe that the coaching opportunity can actually totally transform their life? Financially, marriages, their freedom, ability to be home with kids when they were working? The answer is yes. So you have nothing to be ashamed of or scared about in inviting people to it. And when we sit down with that mentality, that is what motivates us to invite so that we can pass on these opportunities to other people. So don't overthink it. You have a gift and it's worth paying it forward. I want to encourage you that on your Instagram and Facebook stories, be sure to be sharing something every day that you can invite others to. After this call, we'll go back and share the screen. I'll go back and we'll take a picture of everybody. You can talk about that. You can share that you were just on a call within a community with other women, helping each other grow our businesses, helping each other have success, being a part of a community where people encourage each other and not compete with one another. Invite, and there's always room for you. Let me know if you want more details. It doesn't have to be a big dramatic thing. Just every day commit to having something in your story, something in that you can talk about and invite to. And again, I think it's really important, and some people may disagree with me about that, but about this next point, that I think in your feed, some people say that you need to have a call to action invite every single day. That's fine. If that works for you. For me and my followers, it's important for them to see other things about me besides my businesses. To know that I'm a real person, to know that I'm talking about my faith, I'm talking about fashion, I'm talking about the other things that I like. So in my actual page on my feed, I don't always have an invite, but I do every single day in my stories. Because it's really important too that we give content to people, that we give to people expecting nothing in return on our Facebook, on our page. And again, I say that because I've had a number of people message me to say, thank you so much I am choosing to go with you, because thank you for just being real, for showing all the parts of you, and for not being so obsessed with your business that that's all you ever talk about. But I know in the back of my head that I'm offering value, that I have my posts planned out, and I will be inviting to coaching and challenge groups multiple times throughout the week on my feed. But every single solitary day, I'm talking about something I can invite someone to in my stories. And again, with MVF launch, make sure you are talking about it. Make sure you are inviting people to the sample workout. That's the easiest thing to do right now. And sharing details about what this post is. And y'all, you can, one of the questions I've had is that MVF seems like a pretty intense workout. I want to tell you, because of my recent cancer surgery, I am not allowed to jump, run, do anything. Like I cannot do that, or it can open up the wound and then I have to start all over again. So I did the MBF yesterday, totally following the modifier, marching, doing everything. And I'm so stinking sore. And my mama, who is 75 years old, she did the workout. Okay, 75. Followed the modifier, had a great workout. She was like, oh, I had to put those weights down, all that kind of stuff. But talk about that kind of stuff. So always be in your mind thinking, how can I share about stuff in my stories that I can invite people to? Y'all, maybe you've never had this in your life, and I'm so thankful for that. But there are many, many times in my life when I've been left out or excluded from things. And that doesn't feel really good. And sometimes people just need that actual invite to the situation. They don't want you to beat around the bush. They don't want you to kind of half offer it. They want you to just say, I would really love to have you be a part of this. Would you like more information? Boom, done. Let them decide. Don't try to decide for people. Don't try to figure out what's going to make it the best. Again, it goes back to your heart. This is why I started with this. If your heart and your intentions are in the right place, that you have an incredible gift to give people, whether it's coaching or the health, fitness, and the nutrition, fitness, and accountability, or a combination of both, you know that these are incredible tools for an incredible price. You never have to apologize. So inviting. So just keep inviting. And just so you guys know, there's a bunch of us here on this call that are from the Bay Area, and I can't speak to where you're from, but we are right near Silicon Valley, and we have Google and Facebook and everything here. And I remember when I first started coaching, you know, some of my neighbors are CEOs of huge companies, and I'm thinking, and so we'd be at sports events, and they started to hear what I was doing. And of course, there is an elitism in people when they don't know what something is. And so you are always going to get comments from people like, what you do is not legitimate. And the way that I've learned to deal with that is to have conversations and ask people. And now, if I ever have a conversation like that, I just invite people to be a part of it. Like, hey, it sounds to me like you don't know what I do, so why don't you come check it out? And I will also say to people, and you guys may have heard this on any of our coaching calls where we our sneak peeks, that I got a lot of questions when I first started about whether Beachbody is a legitimate business. And one of the great things as I was able to share is to really call people out in a really kind way about, one, what are their beliefs about what we do, but number two, the truth of the matter is that this is a business that is built on integrity, and we have real products that we offer people, and we're just like any other brick and mortar, or like Facebook or Google or Clorox or all the other headquarters that we have here, where they send out a sales team to sell their stuff. We are a sales force for Beachbody for products that actually work to change lives, and then we provide the service aspect of it. So we sell goods and we sell services. Every single solitary company in the world does one of those two things or both. So never apologize for what we do. I would never be a part. I know Melanie, I know most of the coaches on here would never be a part of something that wasn't legitimate and had integrity. And so if people criticize you, or you feel like you go to the invites and you're like, oh, I don't know what you are going to say, that is an issue that you have to work through. Because yes, people are jerks because they don't know. And when people don't know something, then they act like jerks sometimes. That's just the truth. But you know what you have as a gift. You know how much has changed your lives. You guys, I was a widow and a single mom and had lost everything. And I was able to, and I wasn't able to go to the gym. I had 3 little kids. I couldn't. I know personally how much these workouts And then finally the coaching opportunity when Melanie said, Kendra, why don't you just start inviting your friends instead of sending them to me because you're getting such good results? Why don't you just start doing it? And I know personally how much these products and this business has changed my life and allowed me to be home with my kids, to be able to help pay for college, to do all the things that I expected to have a partner to do. And I remarried and have a wonderful partner, but I will be honest with you, it is not his job to pay for my children to go to college. He loves them. He will be there for every part of their life. He loves them as his own, but that wasn't his job. He has his own child. And so who knows what life throws at you? Never in a million years did we think we'd be here in 2020, like going through a pandemic, right? Like no. That wasn't on my, if it was on your brain, way to go. You have a gift. I never envisioned that. And this job has sustained my family when my new his company got shut down by the California government. So this is a legitimate business that can change lives. You know that, I know that. So do not be afraid to offer that to other people. And if they don't want it, right on, go back to your life. That's cool. So send those out. And we're just about at 10 o'clock. And so I want to open it up. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I want to just hop back on here and say, do you have any questions? Is there anything that you have that has stood out to you this month with all of the power hours that has really changed the way you do business? Anything that you could share with anybody? So please unmute yourself and join in. Well, I know you all are coaches, so you like to talk.
I'll just share that sometimes I struggle with adding people like on Instagram. And so sometimes I just have to remind myself that my warm market really still is on Facebook. And so just the tried and true basics of going to like a high school friends page, clicking on their friends, and then there's a tab that says like high school, and then I'll just scroll through all of her high school friends, and they have many mutual friends of mine. So that's what I did when you were prompting us to do that, and I just added, at least a dozen new people that have lots of mutual friends of ours, and then when they get the friend request, they're gonna be like, oh, she went to LaSalle too, I'll accept her. You know what I mean? They probably won't overthink it. So I've had a lot of customers come my way through that route. So I just want to encourage you that if you feel insecure about Instagram, even though I know many coaches say that's where it's at, if you still have a warm market at Facebook, totally just lean into that and feel really good about that too.
Awesome. That is a really great suggestion. Thank you, Amethyst. Yeah, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Anyone else? No? Let me see if there's any. Okay. Did y'all get a picture? Do you want a picture? I'm going to take a picture. So here we go. I'm going to do 2 pages. Ready? Yay. And this. Okay. Y'all, it's 10 o'clock here in California. I don't know where you are, but you've done your power hour. So go crush your day. Have a great day. And thank you for hopping on this morning. Have a great day. Bye.